Good morning, happy cooking, or maybe for some of you it's good afternoon, for others of you it's good evening. So I have a lot of people that watch me from all over the world, so I am going to have good morning, good afternoon, and in case you don't see me, good evening. So here's what we're gonna do. Today I'm gonna teach you how to find out the rate of leaching of the metals in your pots and pans at home. So this is a very simple test that you can do at home to find out if you're ingesting heavy metals. Okay, number one, what you need to do is you take a glass, plain glass, like crystal clear glass, and we're going to grab some water. Number one, we have 3 types of stainless steel. So I'm gonna use like approximately 1 cup of water on each. 1 cup of water on a stainless steel, regular stainless steel. 1 cup of water on another saucepan, stainless steel. 1 cup of water on another. And this is a better type stainless steel. You figure it out on your own. And I'm gonna use half, just a cup, on the green pan. I want to do this for you. I did this on YouTube, and I want you to do this at home with your regular pots and pans. So if you have a friend that needs to see this and you care about them and their well-being and their health, make sure that you send this link to them of this video. So 1 cup in there. So I have the green pan, which is, they call it the organic pan, junk. Okay, and we'll find out pretty soon. We have this one that looks like a pretty enamel, actually enamel. But guess what happened? After you scrape this off with your spoon when you're cooking, you end up cooking on pure aluminum. Now, I don't know if you've heard about the different controversies about aluminum, right? Some people say, some doctor says, some scientist says that they create heavy metal toxicity in the brain. So that's why people sometimes can't remember things. I don't know, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a chemist, but you can do this very safely at home, and then you can figure it out on your own whether this stuff that's coming out of all these pots and pans are good for you or not. Okay, then we have the anodized aluminum, which is the black on the inside, black on the outside, black on the inside. Believe me, folks, if it looks like somebody painted it, if it looks like some heavy duty chemical company made the pots and pans, run, because it's not good for you. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna also add the same 1 cup of water on the glass. So this is gonna be our substance for controlling what we know already. So number one, I'm gonna take this glass and I'm gonna put it right here. Can you see? Yes, you can. And I'm gonna take a sodium bicarbonate, which is also known as baking soda. You need to know this stuff. This is like chemistry 101. Okay, and you want your customers, you want your friends, you want your family, you want everybody to know about this. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon to my water. Okay, and I put that right there. You can see it. Okay, mix it. I'm gonna dry this thing, and believe me, I'm doing this for you because it's not my choice to do this. But I was telling my mother that I wanted her to give this to her friends. So 1 in there, 1 tablespoon in there, just to make it fair. 1 cup of water, 1 tablespoon in there. It is okay, you can add more water. The results are exactly the same. 1 in there and 1 in there. Now what we do is, what do we do after we add our vegetables, our food and everything? We turn it to high, right? So let's see what happens when we turn everything to high. So here's what I know. See, cookware, also known pots and pans, they're really cold at room temperature. They're basically, if you're not handling, if you're not putting them in the fire, they're inert. That's why they say stainless steel is an inert metal. Okay, so at this point nothing is happening, right? But have you ever noticed that the moment that you apply heat to it and you try to cook something without the oil or without water, what happens? The meat or whatever it is that you're cooking, it will burn. Yes, absolutely. Why will it burn? Because little holes inside these pans, inside your pans, they actually, when you heat it up, it's like our body. At room temperature, I'm okay. Nothing is happening. But the moment that I start running, my pores open up and I sweat. So the same thing analogy for your pots and pans at home. At room temperature, they're flat, nothing is happening, it's inert. But the moment that you apply heat, which is you're running, the pores open up, and whatever is inside the construction of the pan, it breaks up to the surface and mixes with the food that you're cooking. So that's the reason why I'm making this, so you can educate yourself and find out the rate of leaching of heavy metals into your foods. So this pan, for example, if I boil this pan, copper on the outside, stainless steel on the inside, if I boil this pan right now, even without putting the sodium bicarbonate would just let me know how much, the rate, the quantity of all these heavy metals that are coming into the water. I need to find out how much. Is it little? Is it a lot? So this pan, I boiled it before. So on the outside is copper, the inside stainless steel. But when I did the test with the water and the sodium bicarbonate, baking soda, this pan tasted like copper. Why? Is there copper on the inside? No, it's stainless steel. Is there copper on the outside? Absolutely. So what's happening is, so when this heats up, the pores open up, whatever's inside that pan, it mixes and it brings it back into your food. Why don't we taste these metals into our food? Very simple. Because food has flavor. The sodium bicarbonate or the food. So the food has flavor, but the sodium bicarbonate is neutral. So that's how you know. Okay? So what we'll do now is that normally how long do you cook soup for? And you cook at a high, right? You don't start at low. You don't start at medium at home. You go high right away because you want your food to cook super fast. But what's happening too, look at some of these. Like I see this already, it's got a lot of bubbles on the bottom. That has a lot of bubbles, 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 bubbles. This one's just starting to bubble, okay? So what we want to do is okay, let's figure out, is heavy metal good for you? Is what's coming out of these pans good for anybody? No. Did you know Teflon or plastic coating, I don't care what you want to call it. You want to call it Duralong, Circulong, Analong, whatever, that ends up in long. That's a long, fast, and way to the hospital super fast. So you don't want to do that. So what's happening is if you have these pans, I watched on 2020 over 20 years ago, they said that whenever you cook on plastic coating pans, 6 toxic metals come out of those pans. And meanwhile, you're cooking for yourself, for your family, and guess what? You're ingesting this. I'm a culprit. I'm guilty of that. Because back in the days when I didn't know any better, when I was ignorant, when I thought ignorance is bliss, which is actually very expensive, ignorance is poor, back in the days I was using Teflon because it was convenient, it was easy, I didn't have to use oil, but guess what? I also ate a lot of that Teflon because whenever I cook with it, I chipped it away, and guess what? It was going inside my body. So I was destroying my body slowly but surely. And not only that, every time that I cooked on these plastic coated pans, I would get so sick. I was always with the flu. I always thought it was the flu. And then I found out later on that when you're cooking on these plastic coated pots and pans, you get flu-like symptoms. I would get dizzy. I would start like runny nose. I would start weaken in my body. And I didn't know that I was inhaling this in my kitchen. So a lot of times you don't know what you don't know, but unless somebody comes and educates you and tells you about it or shares things about it, you will never know. So I want you to make this test at home so you can find out the rate of leaching of metals into your foods. All these pots and pans, they have no regulation. Most of these pans, they have 0 regulation. And each day, we are just consuming this. Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture will actually regulate a restaurant. You're not allowed to leave, say for example, tomato sauce or rhubarb sauce, anything acidic, into an aluminum pan, but they don't tell us that, us folks at home, that we should not be leaving stuff on aluminum. Nobody taught me that in school. Well, I'm gonna teach you because I care about you and I care about your family and I care about your friends. I'm always teaching here, great food and everything, but I never taught you the mystery, because people will go to, this is hot, people will go to the market, they will go to a store and they will go and say like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. How many pots and pans? I don't know which one to buy. Well, let me turn this off right now. It's been at least 5-10 minutes I've been talking. What we're gonna do is, we're gonna taste these pans to see what comes from them. Very simple. And I want you to do this test at home. And if you wanna know more about it, you need to go and educate yourself, because everybody says, wait, we got the best pans. I will say, prove it. You have to say that. You have to test it. So we're gonna test the sodium bicarbonate in water. Gosh, this is gonna be. Okay. Once again, I'm gonna ask you this question, and ask yourself this question if you're watching. If I put baking soda and water in a glass or in a pan and I boil it, what should it taste like? Baking soda and water. Yes? What if it tasted like metal? Where's the metal coming from? Preach it, sister. Preach it, brother. That's right. From the pots and pans. So let's taste what baking soda and water tastes like. It's nasty, but I can drink that because I know it's just baking soda and water. I mean, I used to, like, actually that's a great therapy. You can take sodium bicarbonate and water every day to neutralize the acidosis in your body, okay, from eating too much meat or too much candy and too much sugar. Now let's taste this beautiful pan right here, okay? This is a 360 Ti type of cookware. So let's taste what it's like to cook in a pan that is the highest grade of metal in the industry. By the way, made in the US, not in China. I can take it. Baking soda and water, it's a little bit better, I have to tell you. No holds barred, still a little bit nasty tasting. Yum, yum, yum. But let's taste this nastiness here. Oh my gosh, you need to prepare the bucket. Now let me tell you this. Look at the construction of this pan. Okay? Wow, hot handles. Can't handle that. Okay, let me explain something to you. See the bottom over here? This pan, if you leave it at high heat, it will separate. You know why? You ask a welder, anybody out there that knows welding, okay? You cannot weld aluminum to stainless steel because aluminum is very soft. So how do they get it to stick to this pan? A bond. It is called glue. So what happens, whatever I'm tasting in here is not only the construction of the cheap stainless steel on the inside, but also the glue and the bond and whatever they use for that. Honestly, I want to throw up right now. But I won't, I promise. Not live. Okay, let's taste this guy. Okay, and by the way, wipe the spoon at each time so you can taste what's coming out of each. Oh gosh. I gotta put some sugar on this tongue. Okay. Alright, so we did the stainless steel, which is supposed to be the cleanest, the inert, but honestly, only one passed the test. The rest don't score. Okay, let's go with this organic painted. It's painted, folks, it's painted. And I will not swallow. Sorry, it's gross, but you have to do it. And I'm doing it for you. I don't cook on any of this crap anymore. 23 years, changed my life. Okay, okay, let's taste this nastiness. Yum, yum. Burning my tongue. Ah. Okay, let me see this. I'm gonna show you this because this is the worst of the worst. I'm gonna put it into this guy. Look at what happened if you cook on this. Okay, there you are making your eggs, making your rice and beans, making your frijoles, whatever you're doing, but look. It comes off, folks. It comes off, look. Where is that going? It's going inside of you. Do you want this for your kids and your family and friends and the elderly and the children and the sick and the, oh gosh. No, you don't want that. That should be forbidden from our kitchens. There's no reason for us to continue to pollute our body with this type of junk. It's junk. Now let's taste this one. I already know what it tastes like, folks, but I'm doing it on good sports for you. That's it. For goodness frickin', this thing is sickening. It bites. It frickin', my tongue is numb. Gosh, I've never done this show. I promise you, I got a really nice soup coming up on the next video, but this is terrible. Gosh. Okay. I feel like a horse. Okay, I'll taste this thing. The sodium bicarbonate will help me with all this acidity that I just put in my body. This is horrendous, and I want you to do this at home. Put half a glass with 1 tablespoon of baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. It tastes fucking, sorry, it's the freaking sweet now. Compared to this, it's disgusting. I'm sorry, I never swear, but it is so gross. And of course, this is the pans that I chose 23 years ago to cook on. It is nasty, awful, but after everything that I tasted right here, honestly, I don't want to cook on anything more. You folks, be the judge. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to go home. I want you to, in fact, open your cupboards right now. Take out your orchestra of pots and pans. Okay? Don't taste your neighbor's pans. Just yours at home. Take all your pots and pans. Half a glass of water. 1 tablespoon of sodium bicarbonate. Put it in there. Put it aside. Then put the same thing, half a glass of water in each. Put 1 tablespoon like I showed you at the beginning. Let them boil for at least 10 minutes. Then taste this one first. If you forget, start the video again. Folks, if you really care about the health and well-being of your family, educate yourself before you go on around and continue to invade your body, invade your blood with heavy metal coming out from pots and pans. I cannot give you advice on what to do, but if you continue doing what you're doing for the rest of your life, you're going to continue to ingest this stuff. Every once in a while, when you go to restaurants, you can't avoid it. You can't be carrying your pots and pans for people to cook your food. That would be completely crazy, which I've done it, but not all chefs will be willing to do that. Gosh, I'm like, have such a bad taste in my mouth. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life. Never again. That's why I did the video, so I never have to taste what comes out of these pots and pans, ever. Because truly, like I say, every time that you cook on these pans, every single day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're ingesting all of these heavy metals coming out of the pan. I urge you, go do this test right away. Do not even wait, not even a second. Pull out your pots and pans right now. Take them out. Put the water, put the baking soda, boil them all, even if you don't do this part. And taste all of them. Boil them for 10 minutes. Taste all of them, and you tell me if what's coming out of those pots and pans is good for you. This is your flexitarian friend, Jay Tanti. Until then, have a happy, healthy, and wealthy day. Remember, no matter what, even what comes out of these pots and pans, stay positive. Ciao.